Sun's rising over Red Rock Canyon, coffee boiling on the flame. Another day, another long ride. Ain't no two trails ever the same. Got a worn out hat and a faithful pony, old scars and stories untold. Each wrinkle in this leather skin is worth its weight in gold. There's dust on the saddle, fire in my soul, riding this prairie where the wild winds blow. Ain't much I'm after but freedom and sky, with the stars for my blanket and the moon riding high. Met a girl once down in El Paso, hair like wheat in July sun. Said she'd wait by the river for me, but a cowboy's road is never done. Letters fade in a saddleback pocket, memories hum in the breeze. Sometimes I hear a sweet voice calling like a ghost through the mesquite trees. There's dust on the saddle, fire in my soul, riding this prairie where the wild winds blow. Ain't much I'm after but freedom and sky, with the stars for my blanket and the moon riding high. Steel guitar slides slow and lonely, fiddle cries, hoofbeats echo like a heartbeat through the canyon. Storm rolled in near Amarillo, lightning danced on the plain. Horse and I rode through the darkness, singing to drown out the rain. Ain't no fear in a man who's wandered with nothing left but pride. For the wind and the wide horizon are the friends that never lie. There's dust on the saddle, fire in my soul, riding this prairie where the wild winds blow. Ain't much I'm after but freedom and sky, with the stars for my blanket and the moon riding high. Now the fire's low and the night grows older. Coyotes sing to the dark. Tomorrow's trail will call me onward, just a cowboy following his heart. Fiddle and steel guitar slowly fade out. I rode out from Santa Rosa when the dawn was pale and cold, chasing ghosts and broken promises in a dream that had grown old. They said there's silver in them hillsides, rich enough to buy the stars, but all I found was empty echoes and the memory of old scars. Down in Silver Canyon, where the shadows grow tall, you can hear the past whisper when the night birds call. A man might find fortune or lose his soul in Silver Canyon. a miner named old Hank Rivers sitting by his claim one night. He said, son, this gold won't fill your heart no matter how it shines so bright. He buried love beneath that mountain, trading dreams for dust and pain. And when I left him come the sunrise, his eyes looked like the rain. Down in Silver Canyon, where the shadows grow tall, you can hear the past whisper when the night birds call. A man might find fortune or lose his soul in Silver Canyon, where the wild winds roll. Steel guitar weeps, fiddle dances slow, harmonica hums like a restless wind. There's a cross up on that hillside, carved in stone and worn by time. They say a drifter rests beneath it, who paid too high a price to climb. Now I ride with lighter saddlebags. The lessons of that land ain't no treasure worth the losing of the kindness in your hand. Down in Silver Canyon, where the shadows grow tall, you can hear the past whisper when the night birds call. A man might find fortune or lose his soul in Silver Canyon, where the wild winds roll. So if you find yourself out riding and you see that canyon wide, tip your hat and say a prayer, son, for the ones who never made it out alive. Harmonica fades. The wind carries the last note into silence. Out past Tucson, where the sagebrush grows, there's a trail only old riders know. Moonlight silver on a weathered brim, and a ghost of a tune hums low. He rides alone through the canyon's bend, where the echoes whisper his name. They say he wants love and he wants sin. Now he rides with the weight of the blame. He's riding down to Lonesome Creek, where the river runs cold and deep. Ain't no gold, ain't no glory to seek, just a promise his soul meant to keep. Dust of the past on his boots and his cheek, on his last ride to Lonesome Creek. He once wore a badge in Abilene town, but justice got tangled with pride. Shot a man who never drew down, now he carries that truth inside. Years rolled by like a wagon wheel. He traded law for the land, but peace never came, just the wind and steel, and the blood that still stains his hand. riding down the lonesome creek, where the river runs cold and deep. Ain't no gold, ain't no glory to see, just a promise his soul meant to keep. The dust of the past on his boots and his cheek, on his last ride to Lonesome Creek. Fiddle weaves through a slow guitar solo, echoing the sound of a storm on the horizon. Found her grave where the cottonwoods lean, carved her name with a trembling hand. Said, darling, I've done all I can. Now it's time to make my stand. He knelt by the stone till the daylight broke, then he turned his horse to the west. Ain't no man can outrun his ghosts, but a cowboy can ride to his rest. He's riding down the Lonesome Creek, where the river runs cold and deep. Ain't no gold, ain't no glory to see, just a promise his soul meant to keep. The wind whispers prayers the mountains repeat, for his last ride to Lonesome Creek. Steel guitar cries, then silence. Just the sound of the wind and the memory of hooves fading into the night. The sun was bleeding down through the canyon, shadows stretching long and low. Had a debt to pay in Laredo town for a deal I should've let go. My horse was tired, my whiskey's gone, my luck's running dry as the sand. But a cowboy don't back down from trouble even when the devil shakes his hand. So ride to Laredo tonight, with the wind at my back and my sins in sight. If the law don't find me, the ghost just might. On my last ride to Laredo tonight. Met a preacher down in San Antonio, said, son, the road's been paved with lights. Told him I ain't asking for heaven, just a chance to see the sunrise. The cards were cold, the dice were loaded, and fate had a cruel way to show that every man's got a line in the sand, and mine was just south of Rio. So ride to Laredo tonight, with the wind at my back and my sins in sight. If the law don't find me, the ghost just might. On my last ride to Laredo tonight. Steel guitar bends like a train in the dark, fiddle weaves through the dust, echo of gunfire faint in the distance. I saw her face in a saloon doorway, eyes like rain in the drought. She said, you'll never make it, darling, but I had to find my way out. Now the moon's watching quiet and heavy while the border lights start to glow. And if I fall before I reach that river, tell her I loved her so. Ride, ride to Laredo tonight, with the wind at my back and my sins inside. If the angels call, I won't fight that fight. On my last ride to Laredo tonight. Ain't no grave too deep for a cowboy's pride. The hoofbeats fade into the dawn. Harmonic drifts away. Out by Silver Creek, where the cold wind bites, there's a ghost of a town in the pale moonlight. Once it was gold, once it was glory, now it's just dust and a cowboy story. My boots found tracks where dreams turned gray, where men once fought for a brighter day. Now tumbleweeds roll through broken glass, and the echoes whisper of the past. Ride on through the Silver Creek night, where the stars burn low and the fire burns bright. Ain't no riches worth the soul you lose out here. The wind's the only use. Met a drifter named Cole at the water's bend. Said he lost his love and his dearest friend. Had a Colt 45 and a Bible torn. Said, boy, don't trust where greed is born. We rode 3 days through canyon dust, talking about women, whiskey, and trust. He left me there when the dawn broke thin. Said every road circles back again. Ride on through the Silver Creek night, where the stars burn low and the fire burns bright. Ain't no riches worth the soul you lose out here. The wind's the only muse. Steel guitar weeps, fiddle sighs, distant thunder rolls, as if the past is riding back through time. Years have passed and my beard's turned gray. Still I wonder where the wild ones stay. Found Cole's grave by a cottonwood tree, with peace at last carved carefully. I tipped my hat, said a cowboy's prayer, felt his spirit right in the open air. Then I turned my horse to the crimson west, following the sun and eternal rest. Ride on through the Silver Creek night, where the stars burn low and the fire burns bright. Ain't no riches worth the soul you lose out here. The wind's the only muse. Guitar strums gently, harmonica echoes. The creek still runs, but the gold is gone, and the cowboy rides on, rides on. at sundown, dust rising off my worn out boots. Got a letter from the sheriff's daughter saying don't come back to your roots. Left my brand on the edge of the canyon, left my name in the desert wind. When a man's chased by his own shadow, he learns where the road might end. So I ride that last trail out of Laredo, where the Rio Grande meets the sky. Ain't no preacher or lawman gonna find me, just the stars keeping watch from on high. I was born for the dust and the danger, where the whiskey burns hot and slow. Now I'm riding into memories echo on the last trail out of Laredo. Met a drifter near San Angelo, played cards by a lantern flame. He said, son, this life will steal your soul if the bullets don't call your name. We split the pot and rode till sunrise, laughing about dreams long gone. But I heard that man got gunned down before the next night's dawn. So I ride that last trail out of Laredo, where the Rio Grande meets the sky. Ain't no preacher or lawman gonna find me, just the stars keeping watch from on high. I was born for the dust and the danger, where the whiskey burns hot and slow. Now I'm riding into memories echo on the last trail out of Laredo. Fiddle and harmonica solos, like two ghosts talking in the wind. Then soft acoustic strum carries the song back in. Now the years roll on like thunder, and the stories fade with time. But the desert don't forget a rider, nor the sound of a gunman's crime. If you find my hat by the canyon, or my horse track in the clay, say a prayer for a restless cowboy who could never quite stay. I ride that last trail out of Laredo, where the Rio Grande meets the sky. Ain't no home, ain't no grave to claim me, just the wind saying goodbye. I was born for the dust and the danger, where the lonely rivers flow. And I'll rest when the sun sets forever on the last trail out of Laredo. Steel guitar lingers like a fading memory. The hoofbeats echo away in the silence. The dawn broke cold on a Monday morning, dust swirling round my boots. My horse was restless, my heart was heavy, and my past was in pursuit. Got a letter from a lawman's daughter, written in shaky hand. Said her daddy's gone and the outlaw's right across this broken land. So I'm riding down to San Angelo, where the Rio Grande and runs slow. One last favor, one last fight, for the only love I've Once I rode with a band of brothers, we lived fast and burned too long. Golden whiskey, smoke, and sorrow, we thought we were Texas strong. But the sheriff took my freedom, the girl took my heart away. And I've been riding these lonesome trails, trying to make things right someday. So I'm riding down to San Angelo, where the Rio Grande runs slow. One last favor, one last fight, for the only love I've known. There's thunder rolling deep inside, and the wind begins to blow. On my last ride, my final pride, to San Angelo. Steel guitar slides in sorrow, fiddle cries over the canyon breeze. Hoofbeats fade, then rise again like thunder. Found her waiting near the chapel door, tears shining in her eyes. Said, you don't owe this world nothing, you paid your share of goodbyes. But the past don't sleep for a cowboy soul, it rides in the dark like flame. And as a gunfire echoed through the dust, they whispered my name. Now I'm riding down to San Angelo, where the Rio Grande runs slow. Heaven's gate is wide tonight, and the angels call me home. There's peace upon the western sky, where the silver rivers flow. And my soul rides, my spirit flies through San Angelo. I saddled up by the break of dawn, with the desert chill still hanging on. That sheriff's badge had lost its shine, but the duty in my heart still shone. There's a name carved deep in my memory, a rustler riding wild and free. Took my partner in a canyon gunfight, now he's riding somewhere waiting for me. So I'm heading out to Silver Mesa, where the shadows stretch for miles and more. The sun burns red like an old ghost anger, and justice rides where angels soar. Every hoofbeat tells a story of a man too proud to hide. I may not see another morning, but I'll take my last ride. Tracks led down to Devil's Hollow, buzzards circling high and slow. Whiskey whispers from the saddlebag, and the dust won't let me go. I hear his laugh on the canyon echo, cold as a barrel of a gun. But a promise made don't die easy, and my reckoning ain't done. So I'm heading out to Silver Mesa, cattle stripped for miles and more. The sun burns red like an old ghost, anger and justice rise where angels soar. Every hoofbeat tells a story of a man too proud to hide. I may not see another morning, but I'll take my last ride. Fiddle cries like a desert wind, steel guitar bends low, echoing the trail of fate. I found him camped near the mesa rim, firelight flickered on his face. He said, "You still chasing old ghost friend?" I said, "Reckon this is the place." Two gunshots cracked like thunder rolling, silence fell across the plain. When the smoke cleared, I was bleeding, but my soul felt free again. Now I'm riding out from Silver Mesa with the night wind at my side. No more hate, no more sorrow, just a cowboy's peace inside. Every hoofbeat fades to memory as the stars begin to guide. They'll sing about forever on the last ride. Harmonica and fiddle fade into the desert night. Been riding since the break of dawn, crossed rivers where the cattle once roamed. The world's been changing while I've been gone, now the prairie don't feel like home. The old saloon's a shuttered door, tracks run where the herds used to graze. Guess time don't wait for a wrangler song or a cowboy lost in the haze. So I'll ride that last trail home, where the wind still whispers my name. Through dust and storm I've roamed alone, but the fire in my chest burns the same. If the good Lord's waiting past that hill, I'll tip my hat and let the reins go still, 'cause a man's gotta ride till the night takes hold on the last trail home. I've seen the sun set on silver towns, heard laughter fade into the years. The dance halls died, the dreamers drowned in whiskey, smoke and tears. My saddle creaks like an old man's bones, my boots are worn clean through, but my heart still hums that prairie song of the sky so wide and blue. So I'll ride that last trail home, where the wind still whispers my name. Through dust and storm I've roamed alone, but the fire in my chest burns the same. If the good Lord's waiting past that hill, I'll tip my hat and let the reins go still, 'cause a man's gotta ride till the night takes hold on the last trail home.
fiddle leads the way. Steel guitar weeps like an old friend saying goodbye. The rhythm slows, just like a horse easing down for the evening. Somewhere out where the rivers meet, there's a cabin small and warm. I dream of resting these tired feet and hanging my spurs on the door. The trail's been long, the night's been cold, but I do it all again. For every mile that I have rode made me who I've been. So I'll ride that last trail home, where the wind still whispers my name. Through dust and storm I've roamed alone, but the fire in my chest burns the same. If the good Lord's waiting past that hill, I'll tip my hat and let the reins go still, 'cause a man's gotta ride when his story's told. On the last trail home, fiddle sighs, the harmonica returns, the sound of a horse walking slow into the distance, fading into the night. Riding out past the Rio Bravo, where the sand turns silver at night. Got my canteen half empty and the stars burn clean and bright. My shadow rides beside me, silent as a ghostly tune, guided by the Lord above and the trail of the lonesome moon. Follow that light on the canyon ridge, where the coyotes call and the cold winds bridge. Every mile I ride, I'm humming that tune, walking my heart down the trail of the lonesome moon. Left my name in a ghost town tavern, carved it deep in the old wood door. Said goodbye to dreams of settle down, 'cause the road just asked for more. Got a picture of Mama in my pocket, and a locket from days long gone, when the world was young and my hands were steady and the nights weren't quite so long. Follow that light on the canyon ridge, where the coyotes call and the cold winds bridge. Every mile I ride, I'm humming that tune, walking my heart down the trail of the lonesome moon. Fiddle leads, harmonica joins, steel guitar bends like wind over the plains. Hoofbeats echo faint and fading into distance. Some men chase gold, some chase glory, some just chase what can't be found. Me, I chase the sound of thunder and the peace in an empty town. When my time comes, don't you worry, bury me under June, out beneath them desert stars and the trail of the lonesome moon.
walking my heart down the trail of the lonesome moon.
Fiddle fades into silence. Steel guitar sighs. Wind whispers through sagebrush.